Hi, this is Ariel from France. Bonjour! Welcome to this channel where we make fun costumes and weird stuff. Today I will be making a wig that is also a closet. Why? This is how we say I don't know in French. Anyway, I am starting on a new project that is a rococo fantasy outfit, and it has really big hair. And I was researching on the internet all the ways that I can do that, and I just found this random thing that is the work of Annie Hart, which is absolutely amazing. And I thought it was hilarious, and I had to recreate something like that. It is a beautifully stupid idea, which is exactly the kind of thing that I love. So let's get to work. I don't have a wig head, but I do have this little styrofoam head, but it is a bit too tiny. I need to make it a bit bigger. For this, I'm using cling wrap that I wrap around my head. Yes, this is the sexiest part of the project. Then, to make it more elegant, I'm adding a layer of tape. This will provide a bit more stability to the cling wrap.
You ever look at your person and think to yourself, wow, how did I land you?
I am using a marker to mark the placement of my eyebrows and also my hairline. I'm using this plastic packing thing to add more volume to the wig head. I'm just taping layers of it until I have the right size for my head. Then I can add the cling wrap. I also added 2 wig caps to make the head more smooth and more easy to use. It is not the prettiest thing, but it works perfectly fine. As a base, I'm using this lace front wig that I won from Ardawigs. It is this very light blonde, almost white, that I think will work perfectly for this project. I was thinking of making it pink, which would have been very cute, but I think in white there are a lot more chances for me to wear it many times. I am brushing the wig and I pin it in place. To make the structure for the big poof, I am using reed. This material is very light, and I had a lot of it left over from the 2 pair of stays that I made with it. It is also a very historical material. And I am gluing it with the not-so-historical hot glue. With this, I'm trying to decide the rough shape of the head. It might be too big, but it's also really funny. So I think this size will do. This old glue gun was quite messy. So mini side project, let's make a wooden holder for it. Voila! Much better. With the base shape that I made, now I can add a few more circles of reed, kind of like a crinoline, but for the head. I am gluing these wooden pieces and pressing them with pliers to avoid burning my fingers. Then I can use my nails to remove the excess glue. I'm using these little sewing clips to hold the reed in place. That way it's maybe easier to make the thing kind of symmetrical. Then a bit of hot glue and a clipper again to hold it in place until it's cold. I don't know if it's going to look good, but I am enjoying the look. Now that the main bird cage is made, I can add a little door. The frame of that door will be made using this electric tubing. It's light and flexible, and I can cut it with pliers. I used pins to mark the placement of the cage on the wig. I'm going to unpick the strands of hair that are underneath. I don't have extra wefts of hair lying around, and I will need extra for all the decoration. She is a bit bald now, but that's okay. What I need to do first is to secure the ends of the strands that I cut. I'm just sewing them by hand. For the storage inside the cage, I need to make some kind of surface, but it doesn't have to be very strong. I'm just using some piece of scrap neoprene that I had around. Fun fact, I was kind of looking at turning this into a mini fridge. I was looking at refrigeration systems online, but I don't think it would have worked out. But it would have been very funny. With this in place, I can put things inside the cage and it's not really on my head. And now I can cover everything using quilt batting. I'm just sewing it in place here and there. I turn the edges and I sew them by hand so it's really secure and it's not moving around. Same for that little door. For the opening of the door, I don't need a very fancy hinge. I'm just using scrap neoprene. I think any piece of fabric can work for this. And to hold the door closed, I am using a magnet. It is held in place with a tiny piece of fabric. And on the other side, I've just sewn a washer. But any piece of magnetic metal would have worked. I think it could work, but I don't know, maybe it's too big, which makes it more funny. So, I don't know. I think there are more chances to wear it again later, if it is maybe a bit less dramatic. So let's decapitate this cage. I'm opening the batting on the top and cutting the reed. Then I used hot glue again to maintain it in place. And I can close back the batting. Now, before attaching it to the rest of the wig, I will first cover it with hair. But I try to not use the strands that I saved and use instead a very white and very cheap wig that I had around. I unpicked the strands and then I can sew them at the bottom of the cage. And I use them to cover the volume. It is holding in place with a very strong hairspray. To curl up the hair, I first tried to use this packing roll that I wrapped in cooking paper. And I used a curling iron to roll it. And it worked. But then I remembered that I had some bigodi from my grandma. So I started to put them everywhere on the wig. I am not an expert with hair, as you may have noticed with the usual mess on my head. So I was very grateful for drag queens tutorials on YouTube. I also put all the extra wefts on little bigoodies. And I am putting them in boiling water. And same for the rest of the wig. This hot temperature should help the plastic fibers to stay in place. It worked really well. Now I need to sew the cage on the wig. With the cage in place, I mark it with some blue chalk. I am using white thread and a curved needle. And now I am slowly covering everything with the hair. The first layer is holding on with hairspray, but also a little ponytail at the top. And that got styled and curled, and I am slowly putting each strand of hair up with a lot of hairspray. What worked for me was to put some hairspray on a strand of hair, using a comb to make it neat, and holding it in place with some flat clips. Then I blast it with the hair dryer, and it stays in place. I'm using Got2b hairspray if you are curious. This covers all the cage, but I am leaving a lot of it loose at the back. I want some curls to be falling on my shoulders. The front has a bit too much hair, so I'm just cutting it off. This will be useful later. Now to cover this door, I make a first layer of hair that is folded around it. This should hide most of the batting. The extra hair is cut off, and I'm putting a lot of hairspray to cover the ends. And of course, one of the clips had ink on it. Great. Ah, that's fine. It will be covered. Now those last hair are the trickiest. They need to really hide the door, but the ends can't be glued to the wig. I'm glad that I used the fanciest of hairspray for this. I need to have a way to open this door, so I'm going to make a handle out of this. To make this tiny piece into a handle, I am soaking it into wood glue. This should make it strong enough to handle the handle. Remember the hair that I cut before? I am making this into a manageable bundle using hot glue. You have to be careful to catch all the hair so they don't get loose. Then I can remove the elastic and sew this directly onto the cage. I am also sewing half of my little spare rolls to cover the back and all the places that I missed. The curved needle is very handy at this point. And this is the little handle that is now dry. I am sewing it on the door. To decorate the sides, I want to make some rouleaux. I adjust them and I make them stronger using hairspray. And then I just attach them to the wig using some bobby pins. To finish the front more neatly, I am adding some cooking paper so it doesn't stick to the rest of the wig. And I'm just going really heavy with the hairspray. And the back rolls are also held in place with some bobby pins, but also a lot of hairspray. I don't like that the rolls are empty, so I'm just stuffing them with some loose hair and I'm fixing it with hairspray. There really was a lot of hairspray on this project. Maybe I should have worn a mask? Oh well. This is almost finished. I'm just trying to fix the little loose hair with some hairspray. And the rest that I didn't like, I just cut it off. And a little bit of tidying up on the ends. To hide my pins a little better, I'm using some off-white paint. Yes, I should have done this before putting them in place. It's done! And I've spent, again, way too much time editing the reveal. You think I am going to carry a purse? Like a peasant? No! Like a peasant? Peasant? Peasante? Non! Like a vulgaire paysan? Paysan?
Okay.
Subscribe!
Hey.